I am basically recording, and hopefully you can see me. So I'm doing a few vlogs, and the first one is about Pointless. I don't think I've ever talked about this before on my YouTube channel, but it's about a book and a TV program, because there was a TV game show called Pointless, and I actually loved the program. I'm going to explain a little bit after what it's all about, because, you know, some people from another country like America might not know about it, but the people who actually do Pointless, Alan Armstrong and Richard Osmnan, yep, have decided to write a book, or they've done several books, and one of them is basically the 100 most pointless arguments, which I'm getting through the post. But today I had a book come through the post called the 100 most pointless things in the world. Now, I like books like this, they're very interesting to me, and I thought it would be a great thing to look. I actually found this in WH Smith, but I thought I'd order it online because I might find it cheaper, and I did. This came out in 2012. It's a wonderful book that I'm going to be enjoying reading, because I'm not a bookworm unless it's mostly doing music and other biography, but the odd books do creep up like this one. And basically, to give you an example, would be they've put number 70, answering questions on Twitter. Now, it's not a case of the book is all to do with the fact that they're just going to write 100 things that it should be. What they do, they talk about things. So the example it says here, like, Twitter is wonderful in lots of ways, but it's very bad place to answer questions. As soon as you answer a question, your answer gets shunted further and further back through time, until 5 minutes later it has disappeared and you have to answer the same question again, and again, and again. That kind of thing. So, that's what basically it's all about. So, I can understand, you know, the various things in there. You know, like if you go to one of the pages here, number 30, bank card security code. What you're doing is you're reading the thing, and that's what it basically is entailing on that one. I'm just going to move my camera a little bit, because I thought I'd record these while I was on the internet, and basically I had somebody message me, so I want to answer the message while I'm actually still talking. Yes, can I actually do that? Well, I can try. It'll be very good of me to do that. And like I said, I'm going to talk about Pointless, which is actually a game show, which I'm going to explain more about. Basically, I'm going to explain. Right. Hang on a minute, and I will get round to it in a minute. I know it's me being rude a little bit, but you know, I want to reply to this message, and then I can get back and then basically explain. So basically, what we're going to say is, it's a great book. So if you ever do get to go to a bookshop and find out about this, book, buy it. It will be a good read. But as I was about to say about Pointless, basically it is a game show that we invented in the UK, and it's simple. It's not a game show where you have to get the right answers, but a game show where you have to get the pointless answers, if possible. So basically they have a set of 4 teams, right, and they could be anybody. So it could be a mother and daughter, it could be a married couple, it could be 2 best friends, it could be a mother and son. Example. And they go on the show, basically, all ages, so they don't just shun it for young people, it's for all ages, so the couples can vary in age. Like on one show you might get a range of people who are between the age of 20 and say 60, because that's what they actually have on the show. And that. And the first round is and they have different rounds. Basically, you get knocked out every round. So the idea is basically, in the first round, the question might be something like Elton John, and the question will be to name any Elton John UK top 40 single that he has released. Right, and each couple has 2 chances. So the idea would be simply, if I went on there with my mum might go first, and she named an Elton John single that was in the top 40. If she names one, she tries to get the one that's as low as you can. So it might be she might name a song that 10 people have said. That's great. If you mention something that's wrong, you get 100 points, and the couple with the most points go home. Simple as that. So you'd look for pointless answers, possibly naught if possible, because some people will say there will be songs that have not been said, and there could be pointless answers. Mine might say, as I said, an Elton John song that's got 10 people said it. I might say a song that 30 people said it. That makes 40. And the couple with the most will go home. Then of course you get to round number 2. And you can't confer in the first round, and you can't confer in the second round. You have to do it by yourself. So I can't say to my mum, I don't really know any Elton John songs, but I know some anyway. The second round will be different. It won't be obviously a music category. It'll be something else. The question might refer to US politics, and it might be a question like name a state which basically voted for Barack Obama. So again, the same thing applies. When you get to and again, the couple of those points go basically to go out. Then of course in round 3 is the head-to-head. This time you are allowed to confer, and they are normally based on, you know, where in round 2 a question might also be similar, like it might be something to do with actors, where they're going to give you 12 sets of characters that we just want to name the actor who played them. Simple as that. In the actual programme, i.e. comedy programme, which happens 6 in the first go, and you pick one. But in round 3 it's a head-to-head basically, and the first question might be cathedrals. We're going to show you 5 pictures of cathedrals, and you've got to pick which one you think is the lowest score. And if you get the one with the lowest score, then you get 1 point. So if it was Peterborough Cathedral up there, and it might be Lincoln Cathedral, Peterborough might be lower than Lincoln Cathedral, so therefore you might pick and that, and you get 1 point. Then of course we have round number 2, and the second one might be we're gonna put 6 names of flowers up there, but we've rearranged them in the letters. You just got to give us the one that you think is the lowest score. So you might get tulips up there, but it doesn't say tulips, but it will be jumbled around. You've got to think, oh, wonder what it is. And if the one who won the first round wins the second round, then they win it. They win to go to the final. If the other team obviously get it, then it'll go 1-1, and you have to have a third round, which could be, like I said. And then at the end, you get basically the last, and the people who go to the end basically get to play for the money that they can win, and they have to choose a category. And usually there's a choice of about 5, and this is what they get. They get a category. It used to be that when we picked the category, they only had 1 question, but they changed it a little bit to have sometimes 3. And it will be based on a category that they have to pick. So it might be something like literature, it might be Sheffield, it might be American actors, it might be Scottish football, it might be country music. And at the end, and what they do, they have to pick a category out of that. Whatever they feel they're comfortable with, and then they have time to pick 3 answers connected to the question that it'll be. So if they pick something like Sheffield, the question might be to do with Sheffield, and it will be, because the question might be to name any Def Leppard single in the UK Top 75, because Def Leppard come from obviously Sheffield. It might be to pick any member of the Sheffield Wednesday football team during a certain season where they got the first final of something, and that could be in the 90s. Or it might be any film that this person has been in, because it might be somebody who's from Sheffield, an actor who's been in many films, and they have to pick 3 answers, not necessarily from the same category. That they don't have to do that, but they can pick from whatever category it is. And whether they pick 3 answers from the Sheffield Wednesday one or the Death Evidence, it's up to them, and that's what they do. And they have to look for a pointless answer in this one. If they get a pointless answer, they win. If not, they don't. Simple as that. It's a great show anyway. Of course, if you watch it, you'll know more about it. But anyway, I'm going to leave it there because I don't need to talk more about it. I'll just explain my bit about what the show is all about. And it's a wonderful game show. Anyway, bye for now.